10 infamous murders solved with early forensic techniques. Creepshow mysteries. Welcome to Creepshow, where we unravel the spine-chilling and mind-boggling cases that history tried to keep buried. Today we dive into the shadowy world of early forensic science, showcasing 10 grisly murders that were cracked open with groundbreaking techniques. Grab your magnifying glass and brace yourself, because the past is darker than you think. Let's get started. Number 10. The Crumbles Murders. Our first case takes us to the hauntingly desolate Crumbles Beach near Eastbourne, England, the setting of not one, but two gruesome murders. The 1924 murder of Emily Kay shocked the nation. Found in horrific pieces scattered across a bungalow, her remains told a tale of rage and despair. Patrick Mahon, her lover, quickly became the focus of the investigation. Emily was pregnant, and Mahon was already married, a deadly combination of motives. When confronted, Mahon spun a chilling story. He claimed Emily had attacked him in a fit of rage, leading to her accidental death when she struck her head on a coal bucket. In a panic, he purchased a knife and dismembered her body to conceal the crime. Enter Sir Bernard Spilsbury, the legendary forensic pathologist. Skeptical of Mahon's story, Spilsbury meticulously reconstructed the crime scene using miniature models. He demonstrated that the flimsy coal bucket would have shattered under the force Mahon described, proving his claim implausible. Mahon was convicted and hanged. Spilsbury's work in this case also birthed a new forensic tool, the murder bag, a kit of tools detectives could use to properly collect evidence, ensuring the mistakes of this scene would not be repeated. Number 9. The Margate Matricide. In 1929, Sidney Harry Fox committed an unspeakable act against his own mother, Rosalind Fox. Their hotel room in Margate, England, became the scene of what appeared to be a tragic accidental fire. But appearances can be deceiving. Sidney had recently convinced his mother to take out a hefty life insurance policy, making her sudden death suspicious. Investigators noticed something odd, a patch of unburned carpet between Rosalind's chair and the gas stove that supposedly caused the fire. Once again, Bernard Spilsbury was called in. When Rosalind's body was exhumed, Spilsbury found telltale signs of strangulation, tiny bruises inside her throat and on her tongue, consistent with a pillow being used to muffle her screams. Sidney's attempts to stage the scene failed miserably, and he was sentenced to hang. Number 8. The Sausage King of Chicago. In 1897, Chicago's Sausage King, Adolf Lutgert, was accused of turning his wife, Louisa, into soap. After Louisa mysteriously vanished, police discovered something unsettling in the sausage factory cellar, a vat filled with a reddish, foul-smelling liquid, along with small fragments of bone, hair, and her gold ring. Lutgert claimed the bones were from animals, and the liquid was part of a soap-making experiment. But anthropologist George Dorsey identified the bone fragments as human, providing the smoking gun. Lutgert was convicted, leaving behind a macabre legacy that haunted Chicago for decades. Number 7. Buck Ruxton's Jigsaw Murders. In 1935, Scotland's serene Moffat area became the scene of a grisly puzzle. A woman discovered dismembered human remains scattered in a stream, launching an investigation that shocked the nation. Dr. Buck Ruxton, a physician with a dark side, murdered his wife, Isabella Kerr, and her maid, Mary Rogerson, in a fit of rage. To obscure their identities, Ruxton mutilated their bodies. But forensic pathologists, including John Glaister, painstakingly pieced together the remains. Using forensic entomology, they determined the time of death by studying maggots found on the bodies. Photographic superimposition matched the skulls to Isabella and Mary, sealing Ruxton's fate. He was found guilty and hanged in 1936. Number 6. The Brighton Trunk Murders. In 1934, 2 abandoned trunks at Brighton railway station revealed gruesome secrets. Inside one, police found the torso of an unidentified woman. The second trunk contained the body of Violet Kay, a local prostitute. Violet's boyfriend, Tony Mancini, became the prime suspect. Though he claimed innocence, forensic analysis by Bernard Spilsbury pointed to a blow to the head as the cause of death. Mancini's stellar legal defense secured his acquittal, but years later, on his deathbed, he confessed to the murder, proving Spilsbury's instincts were right. Number 5. The Wigwam Murder. In 1942, the mutilated body of Joan Pearl Wolfe, known as the Wigwam Girl, was found in Surrey, England. Her skull was shattered, and forensic pathologist Keith Simpson reconstructed it from 38 fragments to reveal the cause of death. Evidence pointed to her lover, Auguste Sangret, a French-Canadian soldier. Blood-stained branches and a knife linked him to the crime, and Wolfe's pregnancy provided the motive. Sangret was convicted and executed, with Simpson's forensic brilliance ensuring justice. Number 4. The Aberdeen Sack Murder. In 1934, 8-year-old Helen Priestley's body was discovered in a sack in her building's communal bathroom in Aberdeen. Police suspected her neighbour, Jeannie Donald, who harboured a known disdain for the child. Forensic pioneer Sidney Smith examined fibres, blood, and bacteria found at the scene. He concluded that Helen's death was staged to implicate a man, but that her murder occurred in the Donald household. Smith's meticulous work led to Donald's conviction. Number 3. The Vampire Rapist. Wayne Clifford Bowden, dubbed the Vampire Rapist, terrorized Canada in the 1960s. His signature? Brutal bite marks on his victims. Orthodontist Gordon Swan, with help from the FBI, compared Bowden's dental impressions to the marks left on his victims. This groundbreaking use of forensic odontology secured his conviction and marked a turning point for bite mark evidence in North America. Number 2. The Bill Bailey Murders. In 1933 New Zealand, Christabel and Samuel Lakey were found murdered in a horrific crime staged to appear as a murder-suicide. Traces of blood, burnt bones, and discarded weapons pointed to their neighbour, William Bailey. Despite his attempts to conceal his crimes, forensic evidence tied him to the scene, leading to his execution. Number 1. The Acid Bath Murderer. John George Hay believed he'd found the perfect way to dispose of his victims, dissolving their bodies in acid. But his overconfidence led to his downfall. Renowned pathologist Keith Simpson discovered gallstones, bone fragments, and dentures in Hay's acid barrels, debunking the criminal's no body, no crime strategy. Hay was convicted of 6 murders and hanged in 1949. Thanks for tuning into Creepshow. These cases remind us how forensic science has shaped the pursuit of justice even in its infancy. If you enjoyed this dive into the macabre, like, subscribe, and share to keep the Creepshow alive. Stay curious and stay cautious.